Out in the Thar Desert, roughly 18 kilometers from Jaisalmer, lies Kuldhara. Today, you'll see intact houses, temples, and stone doorways, but you won't find a single human being. Looking out over the ruins, you can see a sprawling maze of hundreds of stone structures extending all the way to the horizon. These permanent, dense stone foundations represent a civilization that spent 5 centuries building into the desert. Yet Kuldhara has sat completely silent for 200 years. Modern folklore suggests that anyone who tries to move into these empty homes flees in terror before the sun comes up. The village began in 1291, when a community of Paliwal Brahmins migrated here from the city of Pali. Over generations, they engineered this harsh, dry environment into a highly prosperous agricultural hub. A society built over 500 years doesn't vanish by accident. To figure out why Kuldhara looks the way it does today, we need to examine the specific, catastrophic night that erased this community entirely. The crisis began in 1825, under the shadow of the Jaisalmer fort. The region was controlled by a Diwan, or prime minister, named Salim Singh. The locals had another name for him, Zalim Singh, the cruel one. Historical records corroborate his reputation for cruelty. In the 19th century text, British officer James Todd explicitly recorded Salim Singh as rapacious and bloodthirsty. The Diwan eventually set his sights on the Kuldhara Village chief's daughter. He issued a blunt, non-negotiable decree. He would marry her, and he would use whatever force required to take her. For the Paliwal Brahmins, this demand was a direct assault on their izzat, or honor. To this community, the dignity of one daughter held more value than their own lives or their accumulated wealth. Realizing the immediate danger, the leaders of Kuldhara called an emergency panchayat, a grand council, that very night. This map illustrates the demographic scale. Each illuminating dot represents one of the 84 distinct Paliwal villages that answered the call. To protect the girl, they reached an impossible verdict: forfeit 5 centuries of prosperity and abandon their homes, temples, and lands entirely. In the dead of night, roughly 5,000 families packed only what they could carry. Without a word to the authorities, they walked out into the desert and disappeared. Before they left, the Brahmins cast a final curse on the soil. The land would remain barren, and no one would ever successfully settle in Kuldhara again. This vanishing act was a calculated move of civil disobedience. By abandoning their land overnight, the community triggered an immediate economic collapse, stripping the tyrant of his tax base and his power over his subjects. 2 centuries later, that parting curse remains unbroken. The enduring emptiness fuels investigations by groups like the Delhi Paranormal Society, who report camera failures and unexplained scratches on their vehicles during overnight stays. Ghost hunters frequently point to visual evidence like this. These solitary footprints trail across the pristine dunes, seemingly materializing from nowhere and leading to dead ends. Historians approach the mystery differently. This infographic breaks down the main academic debate. While Salim Singh's tyranny is the dominant narrative, experts also weigh the impact of severe water scarcity and evidence of devastating earthquakes that may have forced the exodus. Regardless of the cause, the outcome remains the same. Kuldhara is a designated heritage site where the government strictly forbids entry after sunset. Strip away the ghost stories, and you are left with a staggering historical mystery. 5,000 people possessed the collective willpower to walk away from their ancestral civilization in the span of a single night. Kuldhara stands as a 200-year-old monument to a pride. The Paliwals proved that a community's self-respect would outlast the very stone walls they left behind.